Well, in the DSA proposal coming from the Commission, there are crisis protocols planned which platforms can use. So it's not an obligation, but an option. And now, as you said, in the context of the war in Ukraine and disinformation and manipulation of information that we have witnessed, there's now an additional crisis management mechanism. And so this hasn't been adopted yet, of course, but I can tell you already that the platforms will have an option to carry out annual risk assessment where they identify risks that need to be mitigated. Now, as we've seen with this war, there might be an unexpected risk that might not have been predicted, and that is exactly the type of case that this mechanism is intended for. So those that have not been anticipated. And what will happen is the Commission would adopt a decision. There'll be a 3-month initial period, a short period, and then the Commission would get back in touch with the platform, find out what risks the platforms have detected following this unexpected risk, and then ask what the mitigation measures are to be taken. So that's what the crisis mechanism is intended for. That's what's been agreed at this stage. Then you ask when it will come into force, or when the DSA will come into force. It's due for the 1st of January 2024. And then either 11 months after adoption in the official journal, or for the very large platforms with 45 million users or more, that will come into force 4 months after their nomination. Well, because there's the entry into force and entry and implementation. So there'll be the 3 months where we find out how many users there are, designate the very large online platforms, and then they will have 4 months to ensure that they're complying with the rules. You can see that there are shorter deadlines, but of course there are other steps that will have to be followed as part of this procedure. So we don't know the official entry into force at this stage. Well, I have to find out more about this, but of course it won't. They won't be able to come into force before the entry into force of the whole legislative act. But it wouldn't be logical for those measures to come into force before the very large platforms have been officially designated. So I will try and find out more and get back to you. Thank you.